You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Radio Show, only on Financial News and Talk. Now live in studio, your host, local and national real estate expert and consumer advocate, Ron Siegel.
And hello again. Welcome to Ron Siegel Radio. This is the show with no real boundaries as we discuss current events, financial markets, politics, sports, even poking fun at the rest of the media. This is the show that connects the dots of confusion, delivered by conflicting media reports. We connect the dots so you know the actions you can take, how your family or business can benefit from current events. Most of all, thank you for joining me. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day. We have a very focused show. We only chat about items that affect the roof over your head, your bank account, and anything I feel would benefit you. And let me remind you, if you ever have any more finance-related questions, I am the consumer advocate looking out for you. And you can reach out to me directly, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com. Just remember, that's the number you call anytime for assistance. When you call that number, it comes directly to me first. There are operators standing by.
Quiet, numbskulls, I'm broadcasting.
Well, I do have a great team when it comes to developing a financing plan, a plan to save you money. I personally work with you, even if you don't have any needs today. Save this number in your phone for future reference, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. And yes, of course, we are celebrating today. Tough day to celebrate when there's so much chaos going on in the world. National Moldy Cheese Day. I think they just call that blue cheese, don't they? I'm just going to throw that out there. I like blue cheese. Throw those in some green olives right into the vodka. What more could you ask for? Let's take a look and see what the stock market's doing today. The bond market is closed for Columbus Day, but the stock market is open. The Dow Jones Industrial Average down 26.61. The S&P 500 is down 6. The NASDAQ is down 67. Oil up $3.53 a barrel. Obviously, we are knowing what's driving the oil prices. It's the unbelievable events of the weekend over in the Middle East. Unreal what's going on over there right now. Let's take a look and see what impact we've seen on gas prices in the last day or two. Not sure that the Middle East has hit the gas prices. We always know that gas prices always go up faster than they come down. The national average of a gallon of gasoline right now, $3.70 a gallon in the formerly Golden State, $5.80 a gallon. $5.80 a gallon right here in California. And I'm thinking about going to get gas after the broadcast today. Lori's at $3.23 a gallon in Louisiana. And Josh, $4.92 over there in Nevada. You know, you might think that's bad until you compare it to California at $5.80 a gallon. Now, we have come down a bit. So we were a week ago at $6.06 a gallon. So we're down nicely in the last week. But I'm sure the events over the weekend in the Middle East, I'm sure that's not going to bode well for gas prices. And, you know, it's just more of what's going on in the world. It's the policies, unfortunately, of what we're doing here in the U.S. Elections have consequences. And I love it when I hear our Secretary of State, Antony Blinken, that the money that we've released for Iran has nothing to do with Hamas and Hezbollah attacking Israel. Now, obviously, we know that Hamas and Hezbollah do nothing without the approval of Iran. And the money that we released is going to humanitarian issues.
You know better than that.
Well, let's think about the way these words work. Does anybody remember way back when we started getting the lotteries in the United States and they spread all over? Now in California, I don't know if it's the same all over, but California said, well, and this is a cop-out that California uses always. So California comes out and says that we're going to use the money from the lottery is going to only go to education. Okay, that makes sense. But what did they really do? Well, the money from the lottery only goes to education. So they diminished or they dropped the budget for education, the funding for education from the general fund to offset the amount they're already getting from the lottery. So it wasn't a windfall for the kids. Now, you'll notice that every measure that comes out in California, every one of them, they're always going to put in there that it's for the benefit of the kids in education because we're failing them, or it's for seniors. Because they realize that if they put that in the headline, who's going to say we don't want to help the kids? Who's going to say we don't want to help the seniors? So they put that in there. It's just a bunch of malarkey. And then they go and do whatever they want with the money. Just throwing that out there because that's really the way it works. So when you're looking in the Middle East, what do you think? They just learned from what we do here in the United States. So now they don't need to put in their budget humanitarian funding because they got $6 billion from the Biden administration released, about a month ago. And now they can spend more money on terror. Unbelievable how we don't understand these things are going on. Unbelievable. Yet, and I it baffles me because I am Jewish. Why is it that the Jewish people so frequently vote for Democrats? Can you say Obama, right? He had the deal with Iran as well. And now we've got Biden and we've got Middle East turmoil. Wonder where this all, I just got to wonder sometimes how this plays out. But it continues to do the same things over and over again, expecting different results. Now, if you want some great information, a friend of mine got me hooked on podcasts. And I listened to a few podcasts this weekend. As many of you know, I go and walk out on Balboa Island quite frequently. And it's a good time for me to go and listen to podcasts. Dennis Prager was on the list this weekend. Anthony Dershowitz was on the list this weekend. And Mike Baker was on there. You may not know Mike Baker as much as the other two, but he's actually does a podcast called The Presidential Daily Briefing. He was a CIA member, and I enjoy listening to what some of these folks have to say. And you listen to Dennis Prager over the weekend, and one of his comments was, Joe Biden is not, those people that think Joe Biden has gone senile, no. He's just following through with everything he's done for the last 50 years. All he cares about is himself, his family wealth, and power. Well, how do you get his family wealth? Well, do you think any of that money going to Ukraine is coming back to him? $230 million a day is what we're sending to Ukraine. The issue now is what's going to happen if hopefully the president will stand behind Israel. You never know with President Biden, but you hope he'll stand with Israel, but we'll see what happens. And do we have the funds? No, we're bankrupt. Do we have because we had to spend, are you ready for this one? $3.3 billion on furniture. How do you like that one? We haven't even talked about that before. During COVID, we spent $3.3 billion on furniture in the government. Unbelievable. So we'll continue our conversation, watching what's going on, and maybe we'll see what happens with grandstanding Gates, the congressman from Florida, see what he's up to now that he's got his way. And again, he doesn't care. He's just a grandstander. But we'll see what happens there as well now that there's no Speaker of the House. I know Kevin McCarthy was making a statement later this morning. It might have already happened since I was on the way to the studio. But we'll see. You're listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate, current events, and the financial markets. When we come back, we're going to do a workshop on how you might be able to double your mortgage rate and gain $500,000 in net worth. We're going to walk through it step by step, see if it applies to you. Is life insurance worth it? We'll talk about it. Key skills you need your real estate listing agent to have. All that and more. Reach me anytime. Off-air number 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com, facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio. And if you miss any part of our broadcast, Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube, Ron Siegel, the number one on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Ron Siegel Radio, your home and mortgage connection.
Hey there, friends. Wondering if now is the right time to buy a home? Or are you waiting for a bunch of foreclosures? The facts speak loud and clear. Defaults and foreclosures are down. Sure, we might be headed towards a recession. But did you know interest rates typically drop and real estate values often go up during a recession? So what are you waiting for? Higher prices or higher payments? Don't navigate these waters alone. Connect with RonSiegelRadio.com today. That's RonSiegelRadio.com.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. The Mortgage Minute today being brought to you by our friends at Geneva Financial. When you're ready for that next home loan, Geneva's got the programs and the products. You just need to make the call, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. The Mortgage Minute today, again, brought to you by Geneva Financial. Hey, let's every day at this time, OBMMI, they provide the most comprehensive, accurate, timely, and interactive analysis of pricing ever conducted in the mortgage industry, calculated from actual locked rates. Don't know APR, points paid, or points received. They only share the locked rates with consumers across 42% of all mortgage transactions nationwide. Loans closed on Friday. Markets are closed today, but Friday, 30-year conforming, 7.631.
Ow!
30-year jumbo, 7.629. That's kind of surprising. The jumbo is below the conforming. 30-year FHA, 7.27. 30-year USDA, rural areas, generally no down payment, 7.43. Best loan on the market, the 30-year VA loan, 7.243. And if you want our market commentary, we send it out every business day, as early as we can get it. But it is sent out to you, and it comes right from whatever we find in the data. But the markets are closed today, so there's nothing out there. Go to rsrmarketminute.com, rsrmarketminute.com. And again, we'll share with you that the markets are closed today, the mortgage market, so not a lot of rate to report. That's the Mortgage Minute, brought to you by our friends at Geneva Financial. When you're ready for that next home loan, Geneva's got the programs and the products. You just need to make the call, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. What I want to do today is share with you a workshop. We're going to chat about, can you double your mortgage rate to achieve $500,000 in net worth? And one of the things that we see on a regular basis, and I think I've got a slide in here showing it somewhere, that the vast majority of people right now have an interest rate below 4%. Yeah, I do have that slide. Okay. So if you're taking a look at it, I'm just trying to find it for myself so I have the numbers. So 70.7% of the mortgage rates are less than 4%. And if you're watching us on RonSiegelRadio.tv, any of our socials, the ABC News and Talk AM 1490 video feed, you're seeing a chart. 26% of the mortgages are below 3%. 44.7% are between 3 and 4. And 20.3 are between 4 and 5. Do a little math right there. 70.7% of the mortgage rates are less than 4%. We understand that. The other thing that we know is that over the last 5 years, that real estate has appreciated 57.3%. 57.3%. On the Pacific Coast, 49.3%. So many people have a low mortgage rate and they have a lot of equity in their property. So what do? We look at that numbers and we say, okay, a lot of folks are saying, you know something, Ron, I've got debts, but there's no way that I want to give up my 3% mortgage or my 4% mortgage. And you know something? I get it. So what we want to do, we want to look at there is what is really happening. So what we did is we went and did a little bit of a analysis. And we've got a property value that's $729,000. This property was purchased, the hypothetical property. And again, don't pay attention to the specifics of some of the numbers I share with you. I want you to get a global idea of this. So we have a property that was purchased about 4 years ago, $500,000, $400,000 loan. The property is appreciated over time. The property now is worth $729,739. That's with just going based off of appreciation numbers, using historic norms and the area valuations. We looked at that, and it was refinanced a couple of years ago into a 3.25% interest rate. The loan balance right now is $384,419. There's $345,000 in equity on this property. Equity is simply the property value less the amount of the encumbrances. Remember, they've got a 3.25% interest rate. On their existing lien, they've got $1,741 principal and interest, $725 in taxes and insurance. But this hypothetical family, and it's not all that abnormal, has debt. We've been racking up lots of debt. We're at almost all-time highs in debt. They've got a MasterCard, $20,000 balance, $660 payment. They've got a Visa with a $20,000 balance, $660 payment. They've got a Discover card, $10,000 balance, $380 payment. They've got a Macy's card, $6,000 balance, $300 payment. And yes, they've got an auto loan with $48,000 balance, $1,044. Average auto loan now is $800 a month. There's a significant number of people, about 1 out of 5, almost 1 out of 5, have a auto loan that's got over $1,000 a month in payment. So when we add all of that up together, this family's revolving debt comes out to $2,000 a month. Installment debt is $1,044. Their total existing, their household debt service, we call it, is $5,510, $5,510 a month. Now that's all that really should matter to somebody, is how much money do I have to spend every single month to meet all my numbers, right? To pay all my debts. What does the interest rate matter? It doesn't. It's totally irrelevant. I'm just throwing that out there. Now, what if we take this family and move them from the existing loans and debts, lump all of that into one new loan, $496,333. They're still going to have $241,000 in equity. And we put in there $3,000 in closing costs. We want to make sure that everything is still kosher on there. We're going to move the interest rate up to 7.25% with a 7.315 APR. We're going to include in there the $104,000 in debts. We're paying all of those off. So now our total household debt is $4,111. We're saving $1,399 a month by getting rid of the 3.25% mortgage, going to a 7.25% mortgage, almost double, and getting rid of all of those other debts. $1,399 in savings. Think about that. Now, what do we do with that $1,399? We've been making all those payments already. So why don't we take that money and apply it to the new loan? This is just one strategy. There's many others. Apply it to the new loan. What happens? Well, we pay off the loan in 13 years, 8 months. Paid off, gone. 13 years, 8 months. Now, if we did nothing, our existing loan is going to have 28 years on it. So we're going to save 14 years and 4 months. That's 172 payments saved. Now, what are we going to do with all that money that we're after that 13 years, 8 months. Well, what if we just start putting that into a savings account? What does that mean? So after 2 years, after 5 years, I should say, we're going to have $27,080 saved. 10 years, $158,000 saved. After 13 years, 8 months, we're going to have $295,541 saved. Now, we are still going to see more appreciation on our property, right? It's going to keep appreciating over time. We're always going to have that part of it. So with all of that said, what we're going to end up doing is after that 28 years, we're going to have $699,452. Assume you're making that minimum payment on the revolving balance, all that debt is paid off, and you keep saving the money. Not everybody saves the money. Now, what are you thinking we're going to look at next? We have to look at this concept of what are the experts saying about appreciation. So we go to my favorite source, the Home Price Expectation Survey. What do they say property is going to do? It's a national number. So remember, California goes usually a little bit more than this, sometimes even double what the national numbers are. Home Price Expectation Survey for 2023. By the time we finish this, you're going to be about done. 3.32%. 2024, they say 2.17%. 2025, 3.24. 2026, 3.79. 2027, 4.18. So property values are going to continue to rise. Now, home price, why do I like the Home Price Expectation Survey? Because that is an average of over 100 economists, bankers, educators, industry folks. They're the ones that put this together. The Home Price Expectation Survey then marries all that information. So it's an average. So it's not just one person, one opinion. But the whole concept of what I'm sharing with you right here is it's not an issue of what the interest rate is. What do we do after this, though? Because a lot of folks are saying, well, Ron, you keep telling us interest rates are going to drop in a recession. They do. Historically, interest rates drop during a recession. But why do I say to do this now? Well, we've talked about this before, and we call it the RSR two-step. Once we finish going through this process, get all of your debts cleaned up, get you saving money, then our next focus is, after this is all done, our next focus will be step 2. Actually, step 1.5, and then step 2. Step 1.5 is we're going to have a conversation, and we're going to set up a time frame for you. The time frame is, and it's real data driven. I know I don't like that word, data driven, but it is data driven. We're going to look at it and say, as soon as interest rates hit a point where you can save 10% on your monthly payment, 10% on that monthly payment, let's turn back the clock and see what is that monthly payment that we talked about. Our monthly payment is $55.10. So when we can get, because remember, we're taking all of that money, we're taking the new principal and interest, and we're applying that $1,399 to the new loan. So we're still keeping that same payments out of your pocket of $55.10. As soon as we can save 10% there and save 3 years on your mortgage time frame, we're going to have it trigger. Documents will automatically come out to you for a new loan. Now, why do I want to do that now again instead of waiting? Well, the bottom line is when we do a cash out refinance, there's what's called a loan level price adjustment. Loan level price adjustments are risk-based pricing, and what they do is they increase the cost of that loan. They increase the interest rate because it's a cash out refinance. But when we do this trigger, this rapid refi, we call it, when this rapid refi triggers, that is already going to be saved for you. You're not going to have to deal with a cash out refinance, so you're going to save even more money. And again, what we do is we always watch for you to see when it's advantageous for you to do another rapid refi. That's how we do a strategy. Now, I share with you all the time, strategy beats rate always. I just showed you a strategy. Now your numbers are going to be different. I know that already. We just showed you a strategy how you can almost double your mortgage rate and put, what was that, $600,000 or $700,000 into your net worth. Think about that. You're listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate current events and the financial markets. When we come back, key skills you need your real estate listing agent to have. Is life insurance worth it? All that and more. Reach me anytime. Off-air number 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com, facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio. And if you miss any part of our broadcast, Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube. Ron Siegel, the number 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Ron Siegel Radio. Your home and mortgage connection.
79% of all credit reports have errors that should be corrected through factual disputing. You could be saving thousands every year if your report was accurate. CreditSanitizer.com provides a free credit report audit when you furnish a specific $1 credit report. You can use this information to request corrections to your report and potentially save thousands of dollars. Get your free credit audit at CreditSanitizer.com. That's CreditSanitizer.com for a free credit report audit. CreditSanitizer.com.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. The real-time real estate segment today being brought to you by rsrmoney.com, rsrmoney.com. Love this website. Not just because I'm the one that gets it for you or sends it to you. It's free to you, but it's got a lot of really, really good information on there. It's going to be able to allow you to monitor your credit scores, monitor your bank accounts, asset accounts, monitor the value of your existing real estate if you own some real estate. And it also gives you 97% of all the mortgage, all of the real estate available for sale across the nation. rsrmoney.com. Key skills you need your real estate listing agent to have. Selling your house, a big decision. And that can make it both feel both exciting and a little bit nerve-wracking. But the key to a successful sale is finding the perfect listing agent to work with you throughout the process. A listing agent, also known as a seller's agent, helps market and sell your house while advocating for you every step of the way. But how do you know you found the perfect match in an agent? Here are 3 skills you want your listing agent to have. Number 1, they price your house based on the latest data. While it may be tempting to pick the agent who suggests the highest asking price for your house, that strategy may cost you. It's easy to get caught up in the excitement when you see a bigger number, but overpricing your house can have consequences. It could mean it'll sit on the market longer because the higher price is actually deterring buyers. We've got a chart for you. I want to show you this chart. And it's something that we've shared many, many times. But it basically gives you an idea of who's going to really see your property. And that's what it has to do with pricing properly. That's why I show the chart to you all the time. And again, if you're watching us on ronsiegelradio.tv, any of our socials or the ABC News and Talk AM 1490 video feed, you see the impact of price on visibility. So this chart basically shows you the market value is along the side of the pyramid, and down the middle of the pyramid is the percentage of potential buyers who will look for your property. If you price your property 10% too high, only 15% of the market is going to see your property. If you price your property 10% too high, 30%. If you price your property at market value, it's going to get in front of 60% of the people. Now, what happens the other way side of the pyramid? You're getting bigger. Price your property 10% below market, 75% of the market will see your property. Price your property 15% below market, 90% of the market will see your property. That's why we've put together rsrsalesmax.com. rsrsalesmax.com. We show you 3 different strategies to maximize the sale of your property. rsrsalesmax.com. So instead of going to the agent that just comes in with the highest price, you want to pick an agent who's going to have an open conversation about how they think you should price your house and why. rsrsalesmax.com. A great agent will base their price strategy on solid data. They won't throw out a number just to win your listing. Instead, they'll show you the facts, explain their pricing strategy, and make sure you're on the same page, as NerdWallet explains. An agent who recommends the highest price isn't always the best choice. Choose an agent who backs up the recommendation with market knowledge, unquote. They're a great negotiator. The home selling process can be emotional, especially if you've been in your house for a long time. You're connected to it and have a lot of memories there. This can make the negotiation process harder. That's where a trusted professional comes in. A skilled listing agent will be calm under pressure and will be your point person in all of those conversations. Their experience in handling the back and forth gives you the peace of mind that you've got someone on your side who's got your best interests in mind throughout the journey. They're a skilled problem solver. At the heart of it all, a listing agent's main priority is get your house sold. A great agent never loses sight of that goal and will help you prioritize your needs above all else. If they identify any necessary steps you need to take, they'll be open with you about it. Their commitment to your success means they'll work with you to address any potential roadblocks and find creative solutions to anything that pops up along the way. Bank Reagan explains it like this, quote, just as important as the knowledge and experience agents bring is their ability to guide you smoothly through the process. Above all else, go with an agent you trust and will feel comfortable with, unquote. Bottom line, whether you're a first-time seller or you've been through selling a house before, a great listing agent is the key to success. Give me a call, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, and we'd be happy to put you in touch with a great real estate agent. Yes, I have a license to sell real estate. No, I am not qualified to sell real estate. There's a whole lot of people that have licenses that are similar to me. They're not qualified to sell your house. Just telling you like it is. Go to rsrsalesmax.com again, and you can see some of the strategies that we've talked about. Let's see if there's some other things we can give away. We haven't given away a bunch of stuff in a long time, so we'll give away RSR two-step. We've already talked about that. You can go and look at that video. We're going to upload that workshop that we did earlier today to rsr2step.com, rsr2step.com. We've got the home seller's guide. That pretty much fits being our conversation this morning. rsrhsg.com, rsrhsg.com. That's the home seller's guide, rsrhsg.com. And I still get so many folks that don't understand the concept of paying your credit cards the right way for FICO scoring purposes. rsrccpayment.com, rsrccpayment.com. Great little video that we've done there. And we basically show you how to pay your credit cards the right way for FICO scoring purposes. It's 2 very strategic payments to each credit card each month. 2 strategic payments, each credit card each month. rsrccpayment.com. You want to minimize the amount that you owe at your statement closing date, before that statement closing date. And again, even if you pay off your credit card in full every month, if you're not doing it strategically, you're costing yourself money. rsrccpayment.com. And we also we've done this one before. It's been a while. We talked about this one as well, rsrhomeselect.com. This is if you've got a lot of equity in your property, and you want to have access to that equity, RSR Home Select. I've seen it where the effective interest rate is under 3%. rsrhomeselect.com, rsrhomeselect.com. You're listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate, current events, and the financial markets. When we come back, understanding the benefits of owning your first home And we'll also get into, is life insurance worth it? We're going to talk about both of those, understanding the benefits of owning your first home. Yes, we'll talk about the buyer's guide then too. And we're also going to get into, is life insurance worth it? All that and more. Reach me anytime. Off air number 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or RonSiegelRadio.com, Facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio. And if you miss any part of our broadcast, Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube. Ron Siegel, the number 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Ron Siegel Radio. Your home and mortgage connection.
Is your budget getting blown up with high prices of gas and increased costs for other household needs? This is Ron Siegel, host of the daily home and finance radio program. Did you know if you have a low interest rate mortgage along with auto debt, credit card debt, or student loans, your family could potentially save $500 or more per month by restructuring these debts? If you'd like a free Borrow Smart analysis with our team, let's book an appointment to see how we might be able to relieve some stress. Schedule an appointment at rsrbsa.com. That's rsrbsa.com for your free Borrow Smart analysis. rsrbsa.com.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio. Raining time at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. The Your Credit Matters segment today being brought to you by CreditSanitizer.com. You have a credit report and it's wrong. What are you doing about it? Credit Sanitizer has these solutions. I've shared this before. I've been looking at credit reports for many decades, and I've yet to see one that's completely accurate. Never, ever. Highest score I've seen is 834. Perfect is 850 on a FICO score, and that one still had errors in it. Yours is wrong, just like the rest of ours. Is life insurance worth it? A few months ago, I was doing a one-on-one sales presentation with individuals looking at life insurance. The insurance company specialized in group insurance for various workers, and there are a lot, and this includes for union workers. I don't want to get talk about anything not pro or con. I'm just saying, even if you're in a union, you need to listen to this. After sitting through the presentation, I realized life insurance probably wasn't the right choice for this individual. While insurance, alongside saving, spending, and investing, is one of the main pillars of financial well-being, insurance needs can vary dramatically depending on the person. It largely depends on your unique situation, needs, and set of circumstances. Interestingly, not having the right type or amount of insurance is a common financial blunder many folks make. Wondering if life insurance is worth the cost? Let's walk through a few considerations to determine whether life insurance is a good fit for you. Look at your employer benefits package. Before you shop around for life insurance, check to see if your employer offers life insurance coverage as part of your workplace benefits package. Depending on the plan, you might be able to receive either term or whole life insurance for free or a discounted group rate. However, life insurance coverage from your employer usually maxes out at a certain number. For instance, it might cap out at $200,000 or $500,000. The cap could also be a multiplier of your salary. For instance, if you earn $50,000 at your job and the life insurance policy has a cap of 2 times your salary, then your coverage maxes out at $100,000. Understand the basics of life insurance. The main purpose of life insurance is to safeguard your loved ones should something happen to you. Most of the benefit is in the form of a payout to your loved ones after you pass or if you get into an accident. A few ways you can use life insurance include paying for funeral or burial expenses, covering any outstanding debt like credit cards, car loans, mortgages, personal loans, student debt, creating another stream of income for your loved ones, footing the bill for higher education expenses for your children, retirement savings. There's a lot of them. There are 2 main types of life insurance: whole life insurance and term life insurance. Whole life, which is known as universal life or permanent life, is designed to provide financial protection for your entire life. The term life insurance is insurance that provides financial protection for a set period is typically anywhere from 10 to 30 years. Note that with many life insurance accounts, there's a tax benefit. In other words, it's an account that grows tax-free that you can access and borrow against over time. Factor in your loved ones. Should something happen to you, how would that impact your spouse and dependents? A major factor to consider is how your loved ones will be impacted should you pass. A few questions to ask yourself. How much debt do you have? How would it be paid off? How much do you anticipate your children and grandchildren's college expenses to be? How long will you need life insurance for? Do you have a mortgage? If so, what's the term? Do your loved ones have other streams of income? What duration of monthly payments do you feel comfortable with? If you're married or in a domestic partnership, what assets does your partner own? If you're single, life insurance might not be a good fit for you, but if you're unmarried and have dependents or aging parents who rely on you financially, you might want to consider getting a policy to provide them with a money cushion. Or it could be that you don't want someone to foot the bill to cover your funeral or burial expenses. In that case, it could also be a solid choice. Within the realm of insurance talk, the general rule of thumb is that you should have at least 7 to 10 times the amount of your annual salary. So if your yearly income is $60,000, you should aim to have a life insurance policy that covers $420,000 to $600,000. Shop around. Now you know the right questions to ask. If you think a life insurance policy is worth it for you, do your homework and rate shop by gathering a few quotes. When gathering your quotes, make sure the coverage amounts, deductibles, and premiums are roughly the same. Here's what you'll want to check. Coverage, deductible, what the tax benefits are, if you can borrow money against the account, if you need any add-ons to your policy like riders, maybe long-term care, if there's flexibility in your premium, cost of your premium. The cost hinges on a handful of factors: your coverage, age, gender, medical history, hobbies, lifestyle, and your deductible. Generally, the younger and healthier you are, the less expensive your premium. When researching companies, make sure to also look up reviews and see what policyholders have to say about the insurer's customer service and ease of filing a claim. Life insurance isn't for everyone. In some cases, you might be better off squirreling away funds into a savings account and focus on growing your retirement funds. However, it could be the right choice for some. It's important to understand whether it's right for you and the ins and outs of how it works. If you have questions, give me a call, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. I do have some friends that are in the life insurance world, and they're more than happy to help you out and give you the great guidance that you need. And remember, I'm a big believer. Your 401k, only to the extent that your company is matching it. If your company's not matching it, depending upon your age, life insurance might be the solution for you. Just throw that out there for you. I don't sell it. Yes, I was licensed. Let that expire 20 years ago. Probably shouldn't have, but I did, and I really don't feel like going back and taking more courses on it and getting the license back. Just throw that out for you. That's the Your Credit Matters segment, brought to you by creditsanitizer.com. You have a credit report and it's wrong. What are you doing about it? Let's see if we can get, I think we've got time to get another real-time real estate segment in for you today. And we talked about the selling side before. Let's look at the buying side now. Real-time real estate brought to you by rsrmoney.com. Great app. Lets you monitor your credit scores, not FICO scores, but that's your credit scores right on there. If you want your FICO scores, cleanall3.com. Cleanall3.com, I think is it Cleanall3, Josh, or is it RSR Cleanall3? Probably cleanall3.com. We'll have to figure that out and we'll let you know. Is it? Let's see if I try. Yeah, cleanall3.com is the site. Cleanall3.com. So let's take a look and see here. Understanding the benefits of owning your first home. As you consider buying your first home, if so, it can be helpful to know what led other people to make that decision. According to a recent survey of first-time home buyers by Pulte Group, quote, when asked why they purchased their first home recently, the answer was simple: because they wanted to. Either the desire to stop renting or recognition that home ownership is a smart financial investment was the main motivator for 72% of respondents, unquote. While that survey looked specifically at first-time home buyers buying newly built homes, the same sentiment is true for just about anyone buying their first home. Here's a bit more information to help you think about those two benefits of home ownership to see if they're a key factor for you. When you buy a home, you have more stability than when you rent. You might want to stop renting because rents keep going up. If you're a renter, that means there's a chance your payment will increase each time you sign a new rental agreement or renew your current one. On the other hand, when you buy your home with a fixed rate mortgage, your monthly housing payment is predictable over the length of that loan. This stability can give you a peace of mind that renting just cannot provide. Jeff Ostrowski, real estate journalist, breaks it down. Quote, with a fixed rate mortgage, your monthly principal and interest payment is set for as long as you keep the loan. Sign a rental lease, however, and you could see your rent rise the following year, the year after that, and so on, unquote. That's why we came up with the rapid refi program. That way your mortgage payment will drop automatically. You just have to sign a few papers and it's going to drop, not go up. When you buy a home, you grow your wealth as home values climb. Beyond that, owning a home can also be a great long-term investment. While renting may be the more affordable option right now, it does not provide an avenue for you to grow your wealth over time. Mark Fleming, chief economist of First American, explains that's an important distinction to consider. Given current dynamics, more young households may choose to rent in the near term as the cost to own, including house price appreciation, has unequivocally increased. Yet accounting for house price appreciation and that cost of home ownership, whether to rent or buy, will depend on where and if a home is likely to cost more or less in the near future. Basically, renting does not allow you to build equity. In contrast, home ownership can help you grow your net worth as your home value appreciates. That's a significant perk you can't get if you keep renting. When you take that into account, it may make better financial sense to buy. Most experts project home prices will continue to appreciate over the next few years at a pace that's more normal for the market. That means when you buy a home, not only are you investing in a place to live, but you're also investing in your financial future. And we did show you that chart earlier from the Home Price Expectation Survey that shows what the economists are forecasting will happen with your real estate values. 2027 alone, 4.19% appreciation. Bottom line, if you're ready, it can be a smart move to buy your first home instead of renting. Give me a call so you can stabilize your housing payment and start building wealth for your future. That's the Real-Time Real Estate segment, again, brought to you by rsrmoney.com, rsrmoney.com. And as always, we ask, set that first radio preset button to come back here and join Ron Siegel Radio, where we only speak about items affecting your house and your bank account. Thanks to all of our sponsors. Big thanks to Josh and Sean who are engineering us today. And, of course, a special thanks to you for spending a little bit of your day with us. That's all for Ron Siegel Radio. Again, if you have any questions or to meet any of our guests, call me anytime, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com. And remember, make a lot of money so you can help a lot of people and have a lot of fun. Have a great day. We'll talk to you next time on Ron Siegel Radio.